What's up, everybody? Ruben here from Day in the Life of a New York City construction worker, and this is part 12. A few people have asked me, should I move to New York in my pursuit for maybe a possible career in the construction industry in New York City? And I'm going to try to answer this question to the best of my abilities. Somebody asked me if it's a good idea to move to New York City. I wrote this down. I would say there's no place I'd rather live than in New York, but there's a big but, like Kim Kardashian sized but. And that is that New York City is a very lonely place to live in. The irony of feeling lonely in a city full of 8.4 million locals and another 1.6 million workers that travel here from the outer city and nearby states. Yeah.
Why you feel lonely?
No, yeah, I think everybody in New York City feels lonely though.
No.
Yeah.
The only person who won't feel lonely.
Nah. Before you got this job in New York City, you were always working. You were working late. You were working overtime. And not only you, but all your friends were working late. All your friends were working overtime. You barely got the chance to hang out.
So
but
you could say the why you feel lonely is you're working a lot and cost of living make you lonely. So
yeah, that's what it is. Cost of living makes you lonely.
Tell them.
Now I got that written down here. I said that you're usually working overtime or working two jobs
Cost of living.
just to make ends meet.
But you party on weekends. Summertime is the best.
I know this is just the negative. I'm going over the negatives first, because when you tell a story, first you gotta present the story, then you gotta present the negative, then you gotta present something that either solves it or overweighs the negatives. What's up, everybody? Ruben here from Day in the Life of New York City Construction Worker, Part 12. Wow, we made it all the way to Part 12. Didn't think we were going to make it this far, but we did. I do got some notes written down on my phone again, which I am going to be reading out of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos like this. And if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below. If you don't feel comfortable leaving them down in the comments below, then you could always either make a fake account and leave them in the comments below anyways, or just DM me on Instagram at RUBIN_LOPEZ. Let's dive right into it. So in today's video, I'm going to answer the question that I've been asked probably a good maybe 10 times. Should I move to New York, or should I move to New York City specifically to pursue a career in construction? My short answer is yes, and I got a little bit of a long answer as to why you might not want to or why you may want to. So I would say yes, there's no other place in the world I would rather live than in New York, but there's a big but, like a Kim Kardashian sized but, and that is that New York City is a lonely place to live in. The irony of feeling lonely in a city full of 8.4 million locals and another 1.6 million workers that travel here from the outer city and nearby states. By the way, New York City needs to bring back commuter's tax, but we'll save that for another video. So back to the loneliness here in New York City, everybody's always on a paper chase. You're either working a lot of overtime or working a second job just to make ends meet. Rent is high over here, food is high, and so is gas. Gas is actually higher here than in the outer boroughs, including New Jersey and I think Connecticut. So in New York City, the cost of living is actually a lot higher, so you're spending a lot more time trying to make those ends meet and still trying to stay fresh at the same time. Because if you live in New York City, you gotta dress fresh. You gotta dress to impress. So the lonely part is my only negative, and I think that is not too much of a big deal if you live in New York City or if you lived in another city where the paper chase is a little bit similar. But for most people that come here and try to make it in a big city, they usually end up getting their heart broken, their dreams crushed, and they have to leave. The loneliness gets to some people, and it really does. For me, I've never had like a close family here in New York City. I actually don't even think I have any family here in New York City. Or some distant relatives. I do have like second and third cousins, but I never met them before. And I'm always working on top of that, either overtime or side jobs. Or a lot of times I do end up getting stuck doing favors, which I hate doing, by the way. So if you have any favors, please don't ask me for favors, because I don't like doing favors that take time away from what I want to do, which is mainly make these videos for YouTube, and I kind of sort of don't have too much time to make it. But when it comes to editing videos, that's what I like to do. So I don't like doing favors in construction or anything similar. Yo, what's up? Those are the only negatives I have. I'll give you guys some positives now. The party scene is... Yo, come here for a second. Let me just use your voice. I don't have to use your face. So I went over some of the negatives of living in New York City. What are like the positives? Like the party scene is crazy in New York City. Outside of COVID, forget about COVID.
Everything. New York's the greatest city in the world.
The food, the diversity of food.
Diversion, the neighborhoods, the restaurants, the nightlife. You still can't go wrong. The mass transportation that takes you
24 hours.
everywhere.
Everywhere in the city.
In the city. Fuck Uber. When Uber try to charge you,
The New York City residents don't use Uber.
Uber's trying to charge you $40, $50, $60, $70. $275 gets you anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want. And there is no criminal life in New York City. New York City is actually one of the safest cities to live in, actually.
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody believes that shit.
I mean, if you go to areas that are sketchy, then you're probably going to get robbed. But outside of that, New York City's pretty safe to live in.
I love New York.
I would say New York City's pretty safe. You compare New York City to Chicago, California, these other cities like Los Angeles, you know?
Yeah, it's the same. It's just knowing where to go, where not to go at certain times.
Yeah.
You know, there's some parts of Brooklyn you don't want to be at.
Barely any parts of Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's pretty gentrified.
Brooklyn still got some spots to park that you don't want to be.
Yeah.
The Bronx is still.
Yeah, the Bronx
is still wild.
Yeah. Even Uptown, some parts are wild.
Some parts are wild. Queens still got some sections, but it's all about.
Yeah, but yeah, people that want to come live in New York City, they don't want to live in those parts, so it's all good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
I just came out the joint. I did 25 to 35. And now I'm a rapper. And now I'm staying alive.
Staying alive. So yeah, most definitely I would say the party scene is insane in New York City. If you want to come to a city that parties a lot, from any cup of tea that you might have, New York City's party life is pretty insane. So let's set all the negative stuff to the side and put the fact that you're going to be alone a lot of the time spent in New York City in your back pocket. Just keep that in mind for when you do actually make the move and come here. Just keep in mind that you're going to be alone a lot of the time. That way, at least you know sort of what to expect. Now, let's move on to some of the positive stuff and some of the reasons why I would take the risk and move to New York City. One is the diversity, not only in people, but in job opportunities. You can literally quit one job today and walk around for a few hours and find another job and be ready to work tomorrow. It's not going to be the job that you want or an ideal job for you, but you will be able to hold that job down until you find a good one or one that works for you, or one that you would consider keeping. Before I end this video, I would like to say that I make these videos and hope to reach people that need life guidance, and I don't make these videos to brag in any capacity. I would also like to add that although construction unions do pay a lot of money, and some folks in the industry like to tell you that school isn't for everyone, to that I would like to add neither is success. The point of going to college is to get an education. For the most part, my friends that work construction and got an education past high school are doing a lot better financially than the majority of my friends, including myself, that didn't get a college education. So is there a direct correlation between success and college? Not necessarily. Largely, for the most part, everybody that I would say got like a 4-year degree in college, 6 years, got their master's in something, and just ended up in the construction industry for whatever reason. Maybe the industry that they went to school for wasn't as good as they thought it would be financially, or maybe they just couldn't find a job and they ended up working construction. But even within the construction industry, after getting that education background, and they brought it into the construction industry, so they're dominating with their money. Where most people see a $1,300 check, they see a $1,300 opportunity to flip that into something else. So I'm not necessarily saying that if you do not go to college, you're not going to be doing good, because I also, on the flip side of that, I have friends that own multiple properties, commercial buildings and all that good stuff, and didn't go to school for one day. But largely, for the most part, my friends that did go to college and ended up working construction are doing far better than my friends that didn't go to college and ended up working construction. So I like to make my videos as short as possible, and maybe I don't explain myself fully. College isn't for everybody, but I would say that if you do end up going to college, you'll probably have a higher success rate even within a construction job, even as a laborer sweeping floors. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below, or you could DM me on Instagram at RUBIN_LOPEZ. Peace. Oh, by the way, my name's Ruben Lopez, and I'm from New York, son.